Dark Satellite Media.
If I rule the world, I love them, baby.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, let me just put on some water for my voice, all right?
All good.
And then, hey guys, if I go upstairs to do an interview, will you guys behave down here? You'll behave? And if you need me, call me, but I'll be doing you, okay? I'm babysitting at the same time, you know?
Yeah, man. All good, all good.
I didn't know what was going. I didn't know that I'd have the kids without the mom today.
I mean, what? Just a complete treat for me, man. Just I'm a Long Island guy, so this is awesome.
Oh, what?
Well, I grew up in Selden, but I live in West Babylon now. But I grew up with Steve Cameron.
Oh, that's my man.
Yeah, man.
Hold up a second. I have a show tomorrow, and my voice is shit. You know?
Yeah. I sing in a band, so I get it.
All right, guys. If you need Daddy, I'm upstairs, but see if you can leave me alone if you can, okay? Ella John, I'm going upstairs to do my work, all right? They're watching The Three Ninjas. You ever heard of The Three Ninjas?
No. Is that new?
Nah, it's a shitty 90s kids movie.
No, I remember. Okay, yeah, I just wasn't sure. I mean, because I just assume like all the kids now like newer stuff. So yeah, I remember Three Ninjas.
We like newer stuff, except I'm their dads. And I'm their dad. You like all old shit, you know?
Yeah, man. So I guess Sho Kosugi is up next.
Oh, they already saw Sho Kosugi. Yeah, they know who Bruce Lee is. They know who Jackie Chan. All right, you want to start?
Yeah. So welcome to the podcast, which is If I Rule the World, and then we're doing like a Red
audio
River.
or visual too.
It's gonna do. I'm probably just gonna pull the audio. Like, there's no need. I think more people, right? I think more people listen to audio than they watch visual.
It's your show. You decide. It's all good.
Cool. Anyway, congratulations on the record. I don't know how you did it, but I was someone who thought legends never die. I'm a 42-year-old hip hop fan, and I can't think of many hip hop records better than that record. And somehow, All My Heroes Are Dead is just as good. So congrats on that.
It's not just as good; it's better. It's a better record. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. Yes, as far as like the songwriting and all that other stuff, definitely, I could see that. I love the cover because growing up as an 80s action fan, it has like a Delta Force feel to it. So like, I just love that part of it.
Yeah, the artist is the dude designs is his name, and he did, he does a bunch of movie posters. He did the Blu-ray art for They Live and all the really dope drawing art that you see on a lot of Blu-rays. He did those. He did the original Hobo with a Shotgun poster, all of that stuff. He did
that makes sense.
Richard Stanley movie, the new one, the H.P. Lovecraft one. He does a lot of official posters too. So I hit him up, and he gave me my best album cover I ever had, because usually my album covers suck.
What did you, like, just out of curiosity, you mentioned Hobo with a Shotgun. That's such a like underrated movie, I think. Did you like that one? I thought it was amazing.
I like Rutger Hauer. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I might not have been in the right mindset. Maybe I got to watch it again.
Okay, yeah.
Rest in peace, Rutger Hauer, man. I can't believe that he passed away recently. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll never forget being like a kid and going to see Wanted Dead or Alive.
Yeah. The asshole Gene Simmons blocked me on the internet, on Twitter. And before he got to block me, though, I said, yo, this was the only good part of your career, when you ate a fucking grenade, pussy, or something. And I sent him the scene with Rutger Hauer feeding him a grenade, I actually thought he was a good actor. I thought Gene Simmons, because he's such a character. He's such a over the top character and personality. So I liked almost everything Gene Simmons was in the '80s. The way he was in Runaway with Tom Selleck, where the bullets would chase you around the block. He was disgusting in this movie where he played like a tranny. It was called Never Too Young to Die. I think it was Vanity and John Stamos and Gene Simmons chick. Yeah.
That's wild. Okay, yeah, and also Trick or Treat.
He looked so ugly as a tranny. It was like Gene Simmons with lipstick and his tongue. You know how he does that thing with his tongue, and he was like trying to kiss everyone, and you're like, oh, this guy's disgusting.
Well, that's what the Lick It Up album cover looked like for Kiss, but also
true because that was in the glam rock age of rock, so they started wearing girl makeup.
Yeah, how did that miss you though? Like, so I'm 42 and growing up, like that era, like that's what was popping for me, like on MTV when I was growing up. Obviously, there was MTV Raps, but I feel like aside from like your love of Guy and like 90s R&B, did you ever get into
80s? Guy came out in the 80s.
Sorry.
88, yeah.
Aside from that, did you ever get into any like rock stuff that you could think of?
Not really. I was always against the grain. So like when it was burnouts in the back of the school, I would always go the opposite. Like I'd have a New Edition tape or something. But as far as rock, I think there was a couple AC/DC records and Creedence Clearwater Revival. And when Kiss came out, when I was a little kid, they had a movie on TV called Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Yeah.
So it was so cheesy and stupid, but I loved it. There was like bad Kiss and good Kiss, and they'd laser beam each other and fight each other, and so I guess that was the extent of it. But then once I don't know. I was always, since I was 11, 10, 11, 12, I was always trying to go against everything, and hip hop was a bit of a counterculture culture, so I always was drawn to that,
especially like on Long Island. Like I feel like there was a couple of things.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I had a song when I was 14. I wrote it called "Rock Died Out," and it was like looking like a mister. Nah, more like my sister. It was like it was like dissing all the glam dudes. But then Schoolie D made a song in a video called "No More Rock and Roll," so
wasn't it like rock and roll could never hip hop like this, right? Was it that? I'm pretty sure that was Schoolie D.
I don't remember that lyric or song.
Also, like, man, it's funny enough because at the end of The Bad Lieutenant, he rapped over the Led Zeppelin Kashmir shit. So shout out to Abel Ferrara.
Yeah, and then they sued Abel, and they had to take it out the movie, right? And then meanwhile,
yeah, because you can't find it.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, he let
P. Diddy,
the dopey ass Godzilla movie, P. Diddy, use it, So. And James Page.
Yeah.
Was it Jimmy Page? He was in the.
Yeah, Jimmy Page. He was in the video.
On the guitar to that terrible Diddy song. And I defend Jimmy Page because there was Herbie Hancock is a fantastic musician, obviously, and he did Death Wish soundtrack, which was great. And then Death Wish 2. Michael Winner, his neighbor was Jimmy Page, and Led Zeppelin was kind of broken up, and it was. In the 80s, and nobody was checking for Led Zeppelin like the way they were. They would listen to their old records, but where would they get work at the time? So I mean, they were millionaires, but they just weren't in high demand. And Michael Winner got Jimmy Page to do the soundtrack for Death Wish 2, and they panned it. They panned, this isn't as good as Herbie Hancock. Where'd they get Jimmy Page for this? And if you listen to it, it's a really great soundtrack. His guitar is just so gritty and gross and disgusting for like this ill, exploitation, nasty film. So I love Jimmy Page's score on Death Wish 2, but the picture got banned. People didn't love the film. The audience loved it, but the critics didn't love it. So I guess when the film's panned, a lot of times they'll pan every aspect of it, including a very good soundtrack,
Yeah, I remember watching like Death Wish 1 and man, so as a kid like seeing like that the spray painting of the ass cheeks, like that shit was like pretty graphic like back then, you know, and Jeff Goldblum was up in there. I didn't like 2, but then 3 spoke more to me as a kid, you know, cuz I was into
I
like
love
those big action
love
movies
two. I love
where
two. I love 1, 2,
did you?
and 3. I love 4 and 5. 5 is terrible. 4 is fun and
I know.
stupid, but I still love them. And 3 is just the weirdest. What the fuck planet are we on? Greatest movie ever. And 2 is just so gritty and grimy and ugly and exploitive. And they don't make films like that. And the kills were really cool. So I like that. And
Yeah.
you know, Michael Winner would always, not always, but he liked to go too far. He liked to go too far, and that's what people hated about his films. But that's what I like because, you know, they don't make films like that often. You know, and especially in this decade, in the '80s, they were going excessive. But you know, right now they'd be crucified for trying to do a Death Wish 2 film. You know, you know. So I enjoy all the
Yeah, they serve their purpose for sure, especially even 4 and 5 as ridiculous as they
so
are.
terrible, but he poisons a cannoli. Remember, he had a remote control soccer ball, and he blew somebody up with a remote control. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
I know.
What
And
is this
so
film?
so back to the album cover. Funny enough, Sean Price, he's on the album cover. And I remember one of the last times I saw you perform, you did 89 North in Patchogue with Sean Price. You remember that show?
Yeah, yeah. You know, that's the thing I hate about the world. You know, it was like I was headlining that shit. You know, it was like Sean was legendary, and it's me and Sean, and you know, we're barely bringing in how many people were there? 270. You know, how many people were there?
It's a big place, but yeah, it was. I would say 270. That sounds fine.
Maybe less than that even, but it was like, you know, it was whatever. The promoters made their money back and they underpaid us, but look at that. And then after he passes, you go and, you know, SOB sold out lines around the block. And it's like, why didn't you come out and support and have this dude, Sean Price, headlining shit all over the world? Why don't you support motherfuckers when they're alive? And then, like, after he passes, you get, you know, this happens every time, you know, Nipsey also, you know, whoever it is, it's like you get all these flock of people that were like, always your fan, and they're the GOAT, you know, but it's like, man, you know, Sean, you saw Sean was doing verses with scrub rappers for money, like, you know, because that's how you pay your bill. Yeah, fuck it, you know. But if they were truly supporting their own artists, hip hop's own, you know, he wouldn't. He could have. You know, he should have been a multimillionaire. The guy is what I'm saying. Especially the respect that he got after he passed. It was like, man, if you was supporting like that when he was living, imagine what you could have did for that man's life. You know? But,
Yeah, and what an ear for production. You know, like every album, like. You know, just I remember when Mike Tyson came out and just because I was thinking like, how are you going to top Monkey Bars? And then Mike, like, it's just his ear for production was so great. His style, like, you know, the wordplay. I don't have to tell you, obviously. But yeah, I guess I did have that feeling too. But I guess as a older hip hop fan that I like the new shit, I like the old shit. But to me, I'm thinking like, yeah, like there should be more people here. But I mean, I guess maybe I'm jaded to that now because I feel like, I don't know, you know, like some people just don't support certain things. I don't know why.
yeah. Price is great, man, and I'm glad the world recognizes it. But you know, yeah, that's the world, though. You know what I mean? Like so many of the greats aren't recognized while they're here. You know, it's like I go on Facebook or the internet and like. Some of the greatest rappers that ever, nobody even gives a fuck. It's like, oh, these guys, those are my idols, and people don't care. People don't care, you know. But if something bad happened to them, they'd all be writing love letters about them, you know.
Yeah. Funny enough, I know you're a Stuart Gordon fan, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Beyond
So
ever.
Funny enough, I never watched From Beyond until last night.
Oh.
I put it on because I watched all his films and I was watching that documentary In Search of Darkness, which is like a 4.5 hour documentary.
Is it worth watching?
Yes.
Like there's new information learned, or is it just like showing clips of stuff we already know?
Uh I guess it's stuff that we know, but it's just I don't know. To me, it was like snorting a line of nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like perfect. I'm like because they go from 80 to 89. So they break it up into like everything that came out in 1980. It was a lot of fun for me, and in watching that, there was two movies that came out that I, for some reason, just didn't watch. One was Fright Night, and the other one was From Beyond. So I ended up watching them.
The two of the best. The two of the best.
I know. Yeah.
Fright Night is great. Like it's really great. It's a standard story. It's been done, but the way Tom Holland did it, it was great. And all the acting is great, and all the performance is great. Evil Ed character is hilarious. Roddy McDowell, it's great. It's a great one.
Yeah. Marcy Darcy.
Yeah, I love Fright Night. And the effects, of course, the effects were top notch effects.
The practical stuff.
They had a big budget for that one too. That was a big budget movie at the time too.
But if you look back, like do you think it's better than Near Dark?
Yes. Fright Night. I love Bill Paxton. Near Dark. You know what? Near Dark, I like the film, but it's almost where the '90s film. I guess it was ahead of its time because in the '90s, films became like, look, we're the smart horror film. Look, we're intelligent with our horror, and Near Dark was kind of, it almost fit in the '90s era where it was like, look, we're the smart, intelligent, intellectual horror, which it was, but Fright Night, just delivered joke, horror, scare, story, fun. It was just so much fun.
It was fun, yeah.
To me, it's light years ahead of Near Dark. Near Dark for me is, with the exception of Bill Paxton, rest in peace, who I love. It's and Jenny Wright from I, Mad Man. And I know fans will kill me for this because I know Near Dark is a really loved film, but if I want a straight dramatic film with not much of a sense of humor, I don't really love to come to the horror genre. The greatest horrors of all time, even though they don't play like comedies, like if you watch Psycho, we all know there's a million jokes throughout that script and throughout the film, and every time you watch it, you're catching on to little clever silly lines and things that Hitchcock are doing, that if he played it straight and it was just straight, it's like, what, but I'm going to rewatch Near Dark because I almost feel like I badmouthed it, but I didn't mean it. I think Fright Night is just such a time capsule good film for that era, and they don't make films like that anymore. I think they still make films like Near Dark, the '90s and the 2000s were like, look, this is a dark tone, serious, real life, and I think that's, even if you take Near Dark, if you look at the superhero movies, the way they played it straight now and serious, so Near Dark, I might be taken away from it because a lot of films that people like now, the ones that I don't like really, was Near Dark did do it first, in a lot of ways. Nothing's first, but you know what I mean? Before a lot of them, taking a genre like the vampire genre and playing it straight and showing a realistic approach to it, like it's a smart, good film, but it's not the rewatching value compared to something like Fright Night to me isn't close. But that's me, people have different.
No, but you're right, because it is like, if I'm gonna rewatch something, it would be Fright Night, and I could feel that even after just watching it. Near Dark's a little heavier, but man, Bill Paxton. You remember when I don't know if you remember me, but we did the Wondering video in Comswag.
Yeah.
I had no clue Jay, his son was the actor there. And man, when I found out I was like, that Bill's son, I was like, holy shit. I'm like, the filmography Bill Paxton has.
Oh, he's one of the greats, man. He's one of the greats. He's one of the most likable characters. He's one of the greats. And one of my favorite films ever made is Aliens, and I love the film Alien, and there's another opinion. Well, it's not that unpopular, but I think that James Cameron actually topped the original, and film fans, want to crucify you for that. But I think Aliens was just I don't know, it just everything about it worked to me, and it delivered the goods scene after scene after scene. Something like Alien, the problem is it was copied so many times, copied, that now when I watch it, it kind of plays a little slow and this and that. But and I go back to Psycho. Psycho's been copied so many times, but because of the humor underneath it, and the little dialogue and the little silly things that Hitchcock did in his serious piece, Psycho keeps having rewatch value to me. Alien, the original, is a great film, one of the greatest horrors ever made. But for me, when I put on Alien, it's kind of like, there's nothing new with the fourth view and the third view and the fifth view. And for me, and like I said, there's a lot of filmmakers that are great filmmakers that would disagree with me and say it's the greatest movie ever. But I love Aliens, and I love Paxton's performance.
So that's one of those series that reminds me of like Terminator and Terminator 2. Where like Terminator.
What you're going to say, I'm going to disagree with. Go ahead.
So
who topped it? I disagree.
No. So as a kid, I thought 2 was the greatest movie that ever lived. And as I got older, I realized the original Terminator is untouchable.
Way better.
It's like a slasher movie because he won't stop. There's nothing you're going to do to stop that guy from killing you.
Yeah, and he's killing little old ladies. He's going in police fucking, stations and murdering all the cops, But what part 2 was when Hollywood says, okay, you want $125 million to make a movie. Let's put the friendly kid in there. Let's make it happy. Let's make Arnold the good guy. Let's put little funny jokes in there. While they go kill people, they'll make little funny jokes. It's like where the Terminator was just smart, small, low budget, right to the point, and I don't know. I like something a little bit more hardcore. I don't like when they take everything that worked in the first one and then turn it friendly. And oh, look, he's gonna wear a leather jacket and wear sunglasses and say funny shit and and have a little boy sidekick and he's gonna say funny things and it's gonna be, come on.
Yeah.
All the fans are gonna hate me after this fucking thread.
Nah, you know what? The one thing about opinions and online, it's like, I don't know. You could put a picture up of like a rainbow, an infant, and ice cream, and somebody's gonna shit on it.
Yeah.
So, doesn't matter. But going back to the music, man. I followed you. I remember when I had a friend that went to Hunter College, and you did, Cunt Renaissance, and you were kind of from where we were from, and that's when we first started hearing about R.A. And back then it was like this sense of pride, like it's like, yo, this dude from where we live was on a song with Biggie, and then from there, that's kind of like how I followed your career, through singles here and there. But it wasn't until like, would you say like maybe like Uncommon Valor, like it just kind of like opened something up a little bit?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
When I listened to that and to go a little bit,
I got my demo in the 90s, 91, 92. The whole industry, every rapper on the block wanted to fuck with it. So we had a huge buzz, and we ended up getting 9 record deals off of that, and everybody was in the studio in and out with us. It was like everybody. So my biggest buzz was actually in the early 90s, before the Biggie record. My biggest buzz was before all of it. But I think the only difference you might be talking about is when the internet became a little bit more out there. So a lot of people for 15 years thought I was a black guy. Like, oh, R.A. the Rugged Man, that New York kid, the New York guy. And then the internet, they're like, wait, who is that guy? Who's that guy? I used to have dinners, industry dinners, I'd be at a dinner and people would be talking about R.A. the Rugged Man. And they'd be like, yo, he's sitting right there. And they'd be like, nah, the black dude from, it's like, that's, no, R.A. the Rugged Man right there. Like, nobody knew nothing about my personality, who I was, what I was. They just knew I was this dope rapper. I think when the internet came out, and people were able to share information and spread it, I think maybe that's what opened up a new career, you know? So.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then also, just the relationship with Vinny and Jedi Mind Tricks. I also like to cite the song Nosebleed. I think Nosebleed is one of like the best songs on the planet, and your verse, like, you kick the song off, and I'm not a big hook guy. To me, maybe it's just having the like the DJ premieres, like scratch up like the words for me, and I'm like, okay, that to me, I like it. But every now and then, especially on this last record, I don't know how involved you are with like the actual like singing hooks, but they're like beyond. They're like so smart songwriting. And Nosebleed is one of those songs that definitely has it. So, like, how involved are you with like the hooks and progressions?
Depends what it is. Nosebleed, I actually wrote the chorus. I wrote that,
Okay.
and Amelie sung it. But on my album,
like Wondering.
Yeah, well, that was Dave. Dave already had that song, and Classified just sampled Dave's song. So,
oh wow!
All I did in Wondering was have DV alias Christ come in and sing on top of it, and then I had a couple musicians play a little music on top of the singing vocal. But that chorus was already in place. It's just the only thing I added to that wasn't words. It was just some harmonies from and some ad libbing from DV alias Christ.
And then, like, let's say like a song like a Legendary Loser, which I love because so that kind of reminds me of A Star Is Born, like where you kind of get the audience up to speed and you tell that story, and it kind of like keeps everyone.
Yeah, it's a sequel. It's somewhat of a sequel. And Star Is Born, I lost. At the end, I was just a bum loser, And this starts off, I'm a loser, goes into it, and then halfway through the song, the rebirth, shooting ahead, boom, we're done. And I'm telling you, here, we toured the world, made millions off of rapping. You said I'd never be successful. I'm here. It happened, and if after all this bullshit in my life, in my career, all these fucking problems, now here's the happy moment. Here's the happy time. We flipped it and we succeeded and we're a success now. So it's and then if somebody like me could do it, so could you. And it's almost like take Rocky 2. He won the fight. Rocky 1, he lost the fight, but he went the distance, Okay, so that was a victory, In Rocky 2, this bum, club fighter should have no chance against Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed's one of the best. And this bum loser was able to win the heavyweight champion of the world. And it's similar to that.
Yeah, it's great. Also, I love the Jim Cotta reference because like 3 people would get that one.
Sam Furstenberg. Do you know who he is?
No.
He directed Ninja 3 and Revenge of the Ninja.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Breaking 2, the Electric Boogaloo, and Avenging Force. I mean, he's the man. But I sent him the video. He was like, yo, I love the Cannon shirt. I love the Cannon shirt.
Yeah, man. Did you watch the Cannon documentary?
Yeah, I did. I liked it. I love Cannon films. I don't know. I thought I was going to like it more, though. But I thought there was going to be more information. What the problem is? I'm such a nerd that a lot of times I know everything that they say in the documentaries. It happens with boxing documentaries, too. I'm like, damn, like they're not, I like watching a doc and there's a ton of new information that I had no clue about, So when it's documentaries and they kind of just show you the films they made, and like I know all these movies already, you know what I mean? So it was good though.
Yeah, it's fun.
There was a great documentary. I think it's the same directors, right? But they did one about Australia.
Yes. Yep.
That one was way better than the Canon one to me. You know, I love Canon films, but the Australian one, I learned tons of stuff and seen footage I never like. I was like, wow, like
They,
I really.
I think they
They
have
did
that
one
up.
about the
They have that up on Shutter, which I have.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
They did one about the Philippines too, which was a good one. It wasn't as good as the Australian one, but it was good too. The one about the Philippines.
So funny enough that you mentioned boxing, because like when I think of the song "Golden Oldies," so my girlfriend's 8 years younger than I am. So when it comes to like the rock stuff and music like that, we're kind of on the same page. But when it comes to the hip hop stuff, it's a little different. So I'm like listening to these lyrics. I do actually like Arctic Monkeys and Imagine Dragons. But then you also mentioned MMA and boxing. I know you're a big boxing fan. I'm a big MMA fan. Do you ever watch MMA?
Yeah, sometimes. But the point of that lyric was OGs like boxing. You know, that's where we came from. The OGs, the old school, old heads, fuck with boxing. You know, we were raised, our daddies used to watch it. We watched boxing, you know, and then the new generation, you know, boxing ain't shit. MMA, boxing's what nobody cares about boxing anymore. MMA, you know, that argument and that debate happens time and time again.
I'm in the middle. Because I like I said,
well, not everybody's like that. Obviously, it's just a lyric about two people. You know?
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
The whole entire MMA community, but you know that the younger generation, you know, in America, fucks with MMA at a way higher level than the OGs. You know.
Yeah, because like I grew up watching Sugar Ray. I grew up watching Tyson. Like Tyson. When I was like, 9, 10, 11, like, that was like a big deal. Like that, you got those pay-per-views and it was over in like 2 seconds anyway. But like, that's the stuff I remember. And then somewhere along the way, like 93, like that first UFC came out, which was like a circus show really when you look back at it. But there was something about like that just made me want to watch it. I was a big wrestling fan. So to me, it just seemed like a steady progression to be like, okay, we're not going to do the fake fighting. We're going to do the real fighting. So that's when I got into MMA. But I could still watch boxing.
I liked it better when they used to put big, fat 400-pound sumos in there with like 180-pound like karate expert, and the expert would fucking knock out the fat guy.
Yeah, man. There's certain things that I get my girlfriend to listen to, and so definition of a rap flow. Like that might have been like the first thing that I listened to that she was like, "Oh, what is this?" And from there, like I was like just feeding her all this stuff. I don't know what it is. Maybe the production was so bright and it was such a great song. But then, later on, like Get Me Through the Day, like those songs were just so heavy that I feel like they just hit everyone at the same time. So now she'll listen to you. She'll listen to like some Action Bronson stuff, some Mayhem Lorenz stuff, So it's funny to basically finally have that connection with her,
Yeah, I don't know. The mother of my kids, she likes German rap, and but she'll throw on some soul records for me for breakfast sometimes, So, but it is all different generations, So. Yeah.
Going back to Bill Paxton, just out of curiosity, because if you ask me, Kurt Russell, John Cusack, and Bill Paxton have the best filmography. What are some of your favorite Bill Paxton movies?
Wait, who'd you say? Bill Paxton? Who's the other guy you say?
John Cusack and Kurt Russell, I feel like, have the three best filmographies.
What was John Cusack? Better Off Dead? What did he do again that was good? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I'm just kind of forgetting what the fuck 1408 he did was a fun little movie.
Fucking love that movie. It's so underrated. He did Identity, Gross Point Blank, Better Off Dead, a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I like Better Off Dead. I don't remember many films I like with him, but I like him. I can't remember a whole bunch of John Cusack movies I like, but I'm probably forgetting something big, right? Like, what are we forgetting? Is John Cusack shit that we're forgetting? Come on.
Say Anything was another one.
Yeah, those aren't my kind of movies.
No. I threw him in there. I'm just saying, like, as far as Bill Paxton, what are some of your favorite Bill Paxton movies?
I told I love Aliens to death. I love him in Weird Science. He had a cameo in Streets of Fire. Bill Paxton. Me and his son went over the whole resume, and right now I'm drawing a fucking blank because I wasn't ready to talk Bill Paxton.
I got two. I got two.
Yeah,
So
but True Lies when he pissed on himself. I love the film he directed, Frailty. You know, I love his performance, and I love the directing, and I love the story. I thought he was great in that. I mean, he's in countless, endless, great, performances. The guy,
So I had two that never really get mentioned. One was Frailty. Absolutely. Just when I first saw Frailty, it blew my mind. And then there's another movie he did, which a lot of people don't really mention. I feel like he might have even produced it, called The Last Supper. You ever hear that one?
It's what the racist people go to dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in years.
I love that one. But yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about Bill. And I love listening to J-Pax on your podcast, which it's been a minute since you did an episode.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest kids, man. James Paxton, he's like a really fucking great kid, like a really great human being. And not long before Bill passed, James, I was in town. He was like, "Yo, I want to bring my pops. He wants to hear you perform Uncommon Valor live." And I said, "Yeah, hell yeah, bring Bill Paxton by." But then Bill had to fly out to a show for 2 days or something, or a movie. I don't remember what it was, but Bill couldn't make it. And he said, "Yo, we're gonna have dinner sometime." James sent me pictures of Bill holding up my album. He's a great kid, James. And his father's a legend.
Yeah, going back to your podcast, obviously, we're all fucking quarantined at the moment. Is that something that you want to continue?
Nah, because I don't have a producer. When I was doing the podcasts, I was getting the camera crew, getting the studio to film it, getting the audio recordings, getting the guests together. I was editing it myself. It's like it just took too much damn time to if I was able to find a producer who just all I had to do was show up, then I would do it,
Yeah, for sure. I do the editing on both shows, so I get the deal. That's why I don't even fuck with visuals. I'm just like, you know what? Like, not my thing. Going back to the record, I remember on Twitter, after you did a verse, you said it was like the most ridiculous verse that you ever did. Now, you didn't say what it was, but I feel like it might have been All Systems Go.
What month, what date, number?
I don't know. But I just listening to that song, I feel like it's so All Systems Go and Life of the Party are my two favorite songs on the record. I think that it's two of the best songs that I've ever heard, and lyrically, obviously, very different. But anything that you want to say about those two songs? Especially, I think Prince Paul did Life of the Party, right?
Yeah, well, Prince Paul had new beats, but one day he was playing me beats from like unreleased Chub Rock, unreleased Slick Rick, like all this ill stuff from the early 90s. And then that beat came on, and I was like, "Yo, who's on that? Slick? Who?" He's like, "Nah, nobody." I'm like, "Yo, that beat's available?"
Yeah.
He made that beat like 28 years ago, so crazy amount of years ago. I said, "Yo, can I use that?" He's like, "Sure, whatever." So he loves the record now, but yeah, I want
that hook though.
Yeah, that's Eamon. Eamon killed it. Eamon's a killer. Eamon's one of the best that ever lived. So, and Prince Paul's one of the best that ever lived. So.
Absolutely. Like when I think of like producers, like we were trying to get him on the show too. Just on the strength of Long Island, and he is. Man, when I think of something like Prince Among Thieves, like how did that record just not like? How does everyone not know that record?
Yeah, he's a legend. Prince Paul's a legend. I opened the song with back when I was bumping Ghost Stetzer. That's a homage to Prince Paul.
That's one group I actually like don't know that well, but I know where he comes from, and shame on me, definitely.
That's all. They were groundbreaking Brooklyn MCs, They were before the Roots. They were the first hip hop band. They had a live drummer, Bobby Simmons, and they used to come out and do routines on stage, and they're legendary Brooklyn crew. So Tommy Boy wasn't giving them budgets. They'd have hit songs out, but Tommy Boy wouldn't finance their videos. So when you're a group without videos, you don't always get the same recognition as a group with videos back then, because there was no internet back then, and you relied on your videos being played on platforms. And so they were only getting played on rap radio and stuff like that, and not on MTV. When they finally did videos like Talking All That Jazz, it was played all the time. So they just needed more videos.
I think we're back to videos, though. I feel like a visual now. I feel like everyone's staring at their phones or a screen. I feel like the visual, and now it's such a DIY thing. I feel like everyone has a guy that could fucking make a video. I know that all the videos that you've done for this record have been amazing. So how important do you think a visual is now?
Well, it's very important, because the song gets heard and seen more, so you get to put the song out twice. If you just put the song out normal, the song might not get discovered. Like, I did a song with Gifted Gab and Afro, and my voice is shot. But I think 100,000 people heard it. Maybe it got 100,000 hits with no video. And then we put out a video, and the thing got it boosted up 8.9 million views. Than if we just had it on a fucking on with no video. So it all depends,
Yeah, Gifted Gab. Funny enough, man, that's Blackalicious. Like, whenever people show me some stuff, I feel like a lot of people miss Blackalicious, the Alphabet Aerobics. I mean, man, what a killer MC that dude is. But going back to the video, you just put out a video with Afro and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Robert Davi, how'd that happen?
Robert Davi?
You said Robert Davi was in the video, like a cameo.
Oh, Robert Davi. Yeah. I just said Robert Davi. I was like, what the fuck does Robert Davi mean? Yeah, no. We just bumped into him at the mall, and we used the footage,
That shit is, I saw that, and I was just because it looked genuinely like a mistake. Oh, hey, look, it's Robert. Your face wasn't.
Yeah, I was wearing a fucking robot costume. He looks up what the robot's in here? And I look, yo, why the fuck is Robert Davi here? So yeah, we used that clip.
That's great. Technology, unfortunately, that's how Zoom goes sometimes. So just finishing up here. I just wanted to say once again, I think the record's amazing. Everything that I'm reading about it, people seem to love it. So I'm just going to ask you two last questions. As far as Slayers Club, which was a posse cut, did you have that crew in mind, and you wanted them all?
Turn it down a little bit, baby girl. I'm just going to finish this, baby. Sorry.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for your time. As far as posse cuts, you have Slayers Club on the new record. How do you go about putting together such a team like that? Especially a dude like Ice-T, man.
You just got to make the calls and see who's into it, who's not, and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you've been in the game as long as I, and as many records as I made, they respond. They say, hell yeah, all right, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. I'm with it. So everybody was down to do the record, So.
What do you have an all-time favorite posse cut? For me, it would be there's too many, but just out of curiosity, is there one that you feel is the gold standard besides the symphony?
What were you going to say? What are you scared?
Oh yeah, to me, when I really think about it, because I'm thinking of the song that I always go back to is "Who Shot Ya?" I mean, I Shot Ya, which was LL, Prodigy, Keith Murray, Fat Joe, Foxy Brown. To me, that's, man, I put that shit on no matter what year it is, and it still sounds fresh as shit.
Yeah, what you say? The symphony you said before that?
Oh no, but I'm saying like I for some reason I just assumed that everyone would say that, so I said aside from the symphony, what would be your favorite posse cut?
Well, you named the greatest posse cut ever. So where do you go after that? The symphony is the greatest posse cut ever.
That's why I had to exclude it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, Live at the Barbecue with Akinelli and Nas and Large Professor. That was a great one. There's a lot of great posse cuts in history. And now I'm drawing a blank. But Live at the Barbecue is definitely up there on the list,
All right. So once again, last question. I'm going to ask you if, for someone with such a long career and so many songs, if you were going to throw 5 songs in a time capsule somewhere out of your whole catalog, what are 5 songs that you would put in this time capsule that someone 20 years from now would listen to?
Oh, I can't do that.
No?
I think just put the fucking, take the goddamn new album, wrap it up, throw it in the time capsule. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a 5. The new album got 22 songs on there, and I'd hate for them just to hear 5 songs off of it. I'd like for them to hear all of them.
Okay.
So,
well, like I said, that's
just throw the latest CD in there and rock with All My Heroes Are Dead. There you go.
Best work to date. Thank you from fucking West Babylon from Long Island. Man.
Yeah, it's freezing up.
Sorry. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for doing it. It was a long time coming for me, and thank you for your time. Thank you, Steve Cameron and Matt from Nature Sound.
I mean, if you want a better ending where the internet works, just set it up with Matt, and I could do an extra 10 minutes to end it off for you.
I'm gonna listen to what we have. Like I said, it's all audio, so I could just piece it all together. So
okay, all right,
it's all good, man. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you for having me. Peace, man.
Later.
Yeah, baby, it's Phil Cassess. We're back live on Night Talk, talking about Dirtbag Derelict, R.A. the Rugged Man. For the love of God, somebody put a stop to this guy.
Yeah. Fast cash, filthy nights, and grimy, grungy ways. No jobs and starting fights. The dirty, crusty days. It's all good in paradise.
I was born to be the best to flow ever. I knew it before I hit puberty, back when I was bumping Ghost Etzer. I was hateful, I punch you in your face for saying hi to me. But today I try to chill out and not react so violently. People ask, is it possible to be positive when most of your life you was the opposite? Could a negative pessimist be an optimist? Known for being fat, being crazy, and always cursing. That was just my reputation. I was even worse in person, robbing, scheming, and scamming, and rooting, and tooting, and shooting. Peace to me wasn't a losing, beefing was my only solution. I was banned from performing at mad places. I was known for leaving them bleeding and breaking bottles on fans' faces. Self-deprecating, unsavory. I needed medication majorly. I was sinking in moral degradation and depravity. Addicted to hookers, I was an animal wrecking shit. The amount of pussy I paid for, I probably could have fixed the national deficit. I was fist fighting fans in mosh pits, busy beating people unconscious with speakers instead of making pop hits. My life.
Fast cash, filthy nights, and grimy, grungy ways. No jobs and starting fights. The dirty, crusty days. It's all good in paradise.
Over and over, the party stay jumping. Over and over, the party stay jumping. Over and over, the party stay jumping. Hands up.
Yo, I made game-changing recordings, never took precautions. I lost all of my endorsements, always beefing with law enforcement. Gun-toting, grenade-holding fights that I'm in, I'm winning them. But I'm getting older, I'm trying to keep the ignorance to the minimum. I still smack up any fan that act up, but I don't put them in the hospital. I just get them to behave and back up. I used to urinate on women, now I take them to dinners. Don't mean to disappoint most of my degenerate listeners. Used to be in whorehouses, begging for freebies, bumping the beasties in my tidy whitey BVDs, throwing feces. Fans are like, what, did Rugged Man go soft? What they got him pumped up on? Prozac, I sold off? Yeah, mad negative. You want positivity? Now I'm doing conscious records with Talib Kweli. My belly full of hunger, my heart full of hatred. It was hard to take it, I could barely make it, hard to escape it. I had to get my head off of that hate shit. Always wanted to go ape shit and break shit. Getting groupies and strippers naked, that's the life I created, the party.
Fast cash, filthy nights, and grimy, grungy ways. No jobs and starting fights. The dirty, crusty days. It's all good in paradise.
Over and over.
curse God, but now I'd rather say a prayer to him. My life was a modern Sodom Gomorrah, living in ruin. Our hearts was ice cold. Never thought that we would open ours. Rolling with coked up stockbrokers with broken cigars. Rolling in stolen cars. We was hip hop's broken stars. Road rage, break your windshield with bats and crowbars. We had specially built treadmills for training the pit bulls. I had 13 knives and 4 pistols, quick to hit fools. Now I shake hands, sign autographs, I'm friendly. I used to hate fans, everyone to me was my enemy. Now when I'm out with some fine females, I might head to a fancy French restaurant, sip wine and eat snails. Used to smack chicks in the face with my dick and make the horse bread. Now I tuck my girl into bed and kiss her on the forehead. I'm a chill dude now, at least I try to be. I calm down, but don't try me. That ignorant kid, he's still living inside of me. The party.
Let's catch filthy nights and rhyming grungy ways. No jobs and starting fights. Them dirty, crusty days. It's all good in paradise.
Over and over, the party stay jumping. 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 Hands up,
If I rule the world, I love 'em, baby.